This is our final video on stoichiometry. Stoichiometry 3. The third sequel. This is it. The big whatever. The big something. It's the big something. What's an expression for the big something? I don't know. It's the big what? The big what? The big enchilada. That's it. The big enchilada. This is it. The big one. This is the one where we're going to combine all of our skills. Our ability to convert moles to grams and grams to moles. Our ability to use chemical equations and what they're telling us to make predictions about amounts of reactants or products. This is it. The whole enchilada. So, this video is about doing gram to gram stoichiometry calculations. At this point, you should be an expert at mole to mole calculations and mole to gram to mole calculations. But now we're going to move on to gram to gram. And the way we're going to do that is we're going to just jump right into a problem. Because this problem, sorry about that, it should look very similar to the problems that you've done in the past. So here we go. Gram to gram calculations. Now, here's our problem. Our problem says, how many grams of NH3 are formed when 38.6 grams of N2 reacts according to the following equation? And of course, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to use this diagram that we've used so many other times to convert the number of grams of N2 to moles of N2. Because remember, in using the equation in order to figure out the information that we're looking for about our NH3, we have to first take the number of grams given and convert it to moles, because the equation works in moles, and you can only do that calculation, the stoichiometry portion of it, in moles. So first, let's go from grams to moles by taking grams and dividing it by the molar mass of N2. First thing we've got to do is get the molar mass of N2. Well, since there are two N's and each one has a mass of 14 grams per mole, 14 grams per mole times 2 is 28, so that's 28 grams per 1 mole of N2. So now we're going to use this process here. We're going to take the number of grams given, divide it by the molar mass, and get the number of moles. So we're going to take the 38.6 grams of N2, we're going to divide it by the 28 grams per mole of N2, and we're going to get the fact that there are 1.38 moles of N2. Alright, so now we've got the 1.38 moles. We know we have 1.38 moles of N2. The 38.6 grams is the same thing as saying we've got 1.38 moles of N2. Now, we're going to do the stoichiometry portion. So in the second step, let's rewrite the equation. And of course, let's write down the stoichiometric relationship. And again, you know that it's based on the coefficients. 3 moles of H2 react with 1 mole of N2 and form 2 moles of NH3. Now, remember, that was 1.38 moles of N2. And we're looking for the amount of NH3 in grams. So, there's our equation. There's our stoichiometric relationship. We place the 1.38 moles above N2, and we put question mark above NH3 because that's what we're looking for. So we're going to take the 1.38 moles, we're going to multiply it times 2 moles and divide it by 1 mole. Because remember, this is a 1 to 2 relationship, and so this has to be a 1 to 2 relationship. So we're going to set up this ratio, 1.38 to 1, as question mark is to 2. If this is 1 to 2, then this is 1 to 2. And I'm going to say that you should be able to make a guess about this. If this is a 1 to 2 relationship, then question mark here has to be 2 times 1.38 because it's a 2 to 1 relationship. So I'm going to guess that it should be 2.76 moles. Let's find out. So we take the 1.38, multiply it times 2, divided by 1. Oh look, comes out 2.76 moles of NH3. So remember, we're looking for the amount of NH3, but we want that amount in grams. We don't want that in moles, because the question asks for it in grams. So remember, we can now take everything else that we had before, completely ignore it. Don't even think about it, don't worry about it. This just becomes a problem in which now, how do we convert moles to grams? So if you have 2.76 moles of NH3, how do you convert that to grams? Now, of course, in order to solve that, we need the mass of 1 mole of NH3. So, we have one N, and each one has a mass of 14, so we multiply it out, we get 14 grams. And we have 3 H's, each one having a mass of 1.01 grams per mole. We multiply those out, we add them up, and we know that we have the mass of 1 mole, the molar mass of NH3 is 17.03 grams per mole. And of course, we take out our little helper, our little diagram. How do we convert moles to grams? Well, we know that we have moles. We multiply it times the molar mass to get the number of grams. So we had 2.76 moles of NH3, remember? And since we're going to convert moles to grams, we take the moles, multiply times the molar mass, which we determined to be 17.03 grams per mole, and we get an answer of 47.0 grams per mole. And that ends this video. If you're having a little bit of difficulty, struggling a little bit, go back and review it. Always remember to stop the video. Always remember to take notes. Always remember to come in the next day with 20 million questions and be ready to try your best to do the problems. All right, we'll see you tomorrow. Have a good night.